This is Chiming In with Elyse-and-David.
Today we're going to begin the episode discussing a few of our pet peeves or things that drive each other nuts, and we're going to do it in a surprise fashion. So I am a little nervous, and I don't know what he could possibly have as a pet peeve because he doesn't usually tell me things like this. So please tell me what your first button pusher is.
So this was very difficult because for the most part you are pretty good about not driving me crazy about things. But there are a couple of things that I was able to think about. And the first one,
pick one.
Yeah, I'm going to start with one. So this doesn't happen very much anymore because I have a CPAP machine. But before I had the CPAP machine, which is the machine that helps me not snore at night, when I would snore, I would have fears that through the night you would come over and hit me with your fist or hit the bed next to me while I'm sleeping so that I would stop snoring. And I would actually keep myself awake so that I wouldn't snore so that you wouldn't do that.
That's not a pet peeve. That's just life.
I know, but it drove me crazy because I was like...
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
I never hit you. I did hit the bed
You
next
hit the
to
bed.
you.
No, you never hit me. You just hit the bed.
But I really hit the bed.
You hit it really hard,
Really
too, and it would
big.
scare me to death.
Well, you never woke up. I don't know how you could feel that way.
Well, that's...
You should not have been scared of me hitting the bed.
Well, anytime you're sleeping and somebody wakes you up,
Yeah.
that is a disruption to your sleep.
Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, thankfully it doesn't happen anymore very much.
Well, it still does. Happened last night.
It's only when I'm... Not the night before last. It's only because I sometimes am too congested to use the machine.
Oh, for God's sakes. I think you purposefully don't wear it.
No, definitely don't.
So I don't really feel like that counted because that's not really a pet peeve that you have of me. In fact, it's a pet peeve I had of you. So I don't think that counts.
So you're throwing it back to me? It's like a boomerang?
Well, I mean, I have my little list here, but I think that you are truly, that is something that was caused by you or aggravating.
So for it to be a pet peeve, we have to not be the originator of the problem that caused the pet peeve?
Yes.
All right, well, here's one. I'm going to give you another one.
I'm
and I think that this one is going to be one that you're going to totally understand why it's a pet peeve. So imagine that I'm on the phone talking to someone and you have something that you want to say to me, and it's very, very important, but I'm also talking to another person on the phone. So you keep talking to me while I'm talking to the other person, and I can't hear both of you at the same time. That is a huge pet peeve. You talking to me when I'm on the phone with somebody talking to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But if you're not saying the right thing, somebody has to help you.
I understand why it happens. I'm just telling you that I just don't understand.
Like if you're ordering dinner and you're ignoring that that's not what we're ordering, don't you think I need to help you?
Yeah. I understand why it happens. It's just annoying to me because I can't hear you and the person talking to me at the same time. Right?
I don't know.
I don't know how those people on the news do it. They always have people talking in their ear and they're supposed to be talking
You
at the same
claim
time.
you can do multitasking, so I'm not really convinced.
Not that one. I can't do that at the same time. Cannot hear and talk at the same time, for sure.
Okay. Well,
do you have one for me?
Do I have one for you?
Now I'm scared.
Okay. Well, I'll just tread lightly to begin. The first one is I, for some reason, cannot stand the way that you text.
What do you mean?
So you are a one-finger texter.
You know, I've tried doing it with both fingers, and it does happen.
No.
It does happen occasionally, but very infrequently.
It never happens.
I do it. I do it in the privacy of my own
So
space.
it's 2025. So we are all texters, and you have decisions to make.
Yeah.
Ready for the first one? Am I going to use my hands at all to use this text, to do this text? And if I am, I'm going to not text a paragraph with one finger typing. So that drives me insane.
I do notice that it bothers you a lot when I do that.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because there's choices. It's 2025. You can talk text.
I know. Sometimes I forget about the talk text thing.
Sometimes. I've never heard you talk text. Do you know where the button is?
Of course. I talk text all the time. Whenever you see a very long text that's
bullshit.
like 3 pages long,
Absolutely
that's me
not.
talking into the phone.
Oh my God, you're lying right now.
No, I swear I do it all the time. I really do. I push the little microphone thing and I talk. You know what happens to me though sometimes is I hit the microphone and nothing happens. And I talk for 10 minutes and I look down and nothing has been recorded. And I'm so frustrated because I just said exactly what I needed to say and nothing happened. Also, I don't know when to stop because at some point, it's going to pick up the rest of the conversation and I don't know how to stop it.
You click the same button, honey.
I know, but sometimes I don't
Dave,
think it works.
you click the same button.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
What do you mean guess? There's no choices. That's what you do.
And then if I have to add things to it, I've got to go back and edit it or I've got to, because it never gets it right.
Oh my God.
How many times do you say Avi and it's Abby?
No, actually, I don't know why it won't learn his name, but it does correct it to
Yes,
Abby
every
and
time.
Harvey and RV, and it's never
Yeah.
AVI.
It does not get Avi's name
But
at all.
you digressed.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that it is sometimes a little bit, and then I have to go edit it. And I got to fix everything, all the spelling mistakes, not spelling, but it misheard me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not speaking English properly, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. So enunciate and make sure it's on. It's a one button, on, off,
Right.
the end.
I probably should do that
And it's
more.
also very good and easy to edit. So I think that's no excuse. And you can also do another thing that is kind of cool, and that is an audio text where you record yourself just talking and then it sends in a text. Did you know that?
Yeah. So it's like a little voicemail that you send to the other person.
Yeah. Did you know that it's
Yeah, but
possible to do
why
that?
wouldn't I just call the person and talk to them?
No, because nobody wants you to do that. Huh? We don't call people. What are you talking about?
I know that is a strange thing that we do these days is that nobody ever picks up the phone and call. You have to ask permission. You have to text someone first and say, hey, do you have time for a chat? There's like this.
No. You have to make an appointment.
Right. What is up with that? We used to call people. You just pick up the phone and call them.
I think you still do that.
I do. And then nobody answers.
Exactly.
I have to hear voicemail every time.
Exactly.
So now I'm learning. I actually text people and I'm like, hey, do you have a second to chat? Let me know when you have time to chat, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I know for me, I don't know that I ever was a big phone call person, to be very honest. So, that was all we had. So you just had to work it out. But in general, I don't really like the, kind of being put on the spot and the unknown of the phone call. So yeah. So, and especially in this day and age, like, unless it's, first of all, I also don't want to have my phone near me all the time personally. So I do often miss a call. It's true. But most people know to just shoot a text first so that I'm aware that we're going to need to have a conversation, which is perfectly fine. I love talking clearly, but I might need a second to just get myself situated to make that phone call. But I think, like you said a minute ago, you used to love calling people, kind of cold calling your friends. And I think that you probably do it a lot less, but you still do it. And that is a perfect segue for our real true topic of today. So why don't we circle back to the rest of our pet peeves later?
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Thank you. I think that you have been met with a little bit of what is now considered ghosting.
Yes.
Recently. And I have a lot we want to unpack with this episode of ghosting. And I don't even know if we can get it all in this one, but you were just telling me, I didn't quite realize this had happened to you, but you were just telling me a little bit about the fact that you used to call and talk to certain people and friends all the time. And it's just over time, for whatever reason, just literally nobody answers or writes you back.
Right. Yeah. So we were talking about this recently on a walk where there are people in my life, people that you would expect to be always in my life, people that I've known for a very long time, or people who held a really, really close space. Thinking of two people in particular, one of which I knew since I was a small child, and we've been friends our whole lives. And I've reached out to this person numerous times over the last couple of years with zero response. And it's really kind of heartbreaking when you think about having this wealth of knowledge about this person and information about this person and connection, that it would just stop and that they would not be interested in continuing that relationship. It really is almost like the death of someone when there's no communication back and forth.
You know, that's so funny because this is a little side, but I just sent this meme to a bunch of my older friends, and it says there's something special about long term friendships. People who have witnessed every version of you and loved you unconditionally through it all. And of course, in my case, everyone, we're all hearting and loving on each other. But that, I think, is why, especially in your situation, it's very hurtful. And I want to focus on one word that you just said a few minutes ago, and that is that you expected it to just be there forever. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that it's the truth of another level of what we've sort of been touching on in other episodes, that we have the tendency, even in the most obvious places, that again you would expect that a friend would just be there forever. You expect that because that's how you think of that. So you put your own thought on the other person, and I think we both have several examples we can share of this happening where the other person either doesn't feel that way or stopped feeling that way, or is just too busy and it's just life, and there's no real reason. But because you expect that of yourself, you have the idea that that expectation exists for the other person. So yes, so when your friend stopped being in touch with you, you never in a million years would have thought that would have ever happened, because you would never have done it that way to them. Right?
Well, I just can't imagine if someone were calling me and leaving me a message that I wouldn't call them back, that I wouldn't at least acknowledge. And if I missed it for some reason and then they called me a second time, I would definitely be like, I am so sorry I missed that first call a few weeks ago or whatever. It's just, I can't help but take it personally when you feel like this other person that you've known for so long is just completely off the face of the earth and doesn't communicate anymore. It just feels very, very personal, like they have no need or desire to keep up that friendship.
And maybe they don't. And I think you have to go through almost a period of mourning and grieving, because there is a loss in your life. And that being said, the loss is not so much the person, because who wants to be around someone that doesn't, or talking to somebody that doesn't want to necessarily have a relationship with you, but you're grieving the loss of what you once had. And you probably weren't ready to do that because you were celebrating what you had, like my text to my friends. That sort of celebrates a long-term relationship. And you were ready to go in unconditionally because that's who you are. And if you really think about, I know who you're talking about, and if you really think about them, that's not really their personality. They don't necessarily feel unconditional relationship love, right? Like if you think about it, so we can't put our own ways onto the other person, and that because that creates the expectation.
Right.
That being said, ghosting is a real problem in our society right now. I've been doing some reading on it, and I've had experiences with it. Our kids have had experiences, our friends' kids.
What are your experiences that you've had?
My personal one,
Yeah.
ones. Also with friends, obviously we're not dating. I think the idea of ghosting originated, or the term being so, kind of trending is because of a relationship in the sense of dating. So meaning that maybe a couple is talking to each other or getting to know each other, and it seems like it's going one way, and then the person literally vanishes. No more talking, no more nothing.
And it's probably easy to do as well in this day and age with just communication being so through texting and email that unless you're around the person all the time, you really can ghost them.
Nobody's emailing, but
Right,
yeah.
right. Not texting them.
Okay, you're okay. Yes, of course, it's a way different game than when you and I were dating. So yeah, I think that my personal story is I don't I'm beyond the grieving process now, but it really was shocking at the time because the same exact thing with you at the time. That's why I could speak to you now that way, because I understand it. I also, when I have a friend, I don't think that they're ever not going to be there. We are all in each other's lives. And even if I don't see a person for a while, I don't personally think they're not there. So I definitely have that sort of innate unconditional feeling to people that I know. So in that sense, it kind of opens both of us up to potential hurt, right? We've been kind of learning the hard way. That being said, I don't think that I will ever change, and I don't want to, and I don't want you to. And I think that we should always be true to who we are, and that is that kind of unconditional love. We're not talking about abusive relationships. That's an entirely different. That's you need to set boundaries and sure, ghost away. That's a different story. So we are very clearly not talking about that.
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
definitely hear what you're saying, and I kind of feel the same way in that once the person has established the ghosting pattern, then it's like, why would I want to continue the relationship? It's like, what is the point of trying to essentially beat a dead horse? If the person's not interested, then I'm not interested in either. I mean, it clearly, whatever we had is not there anymore, and they're not participating. So
Right.
find somebody who is,
When
who's
people
interested.
when people show you who they are, believe them. Right? That's the famous quote. So there's truth, so much truth in that. So many years ago, when my father passed, I had a very good friend at the time, and we were still writing letters back then. There wasn't even email.
What's a letter?
Yeah, and and back and forth, back and forth, and so I remember we were on the phone, of course, as well, and I distinctly remember feeling all of a sudden like she was not there, and it was shocking because we were there. I was there for her through so much crap that we were going through in our very early 20s. And here I was getting a turn of life's crap, let's say, and she was not there. And I don't mean like she didn't say what I wanted her to say. She literally did not feel like I was there, not in any way. And I immediately thought, she doesn't want to feel the feelings. She can't do this with me because it's too hard to see me as the friend in this much pain, and she can't do it. And I thought how, at the time, I thought it was so messed up because I didn't feel the same way. When she would share with me, I was able to
You were
be
there to
there for
console
her.
her. Yeah. So you had never been through situations with her before where she was there for you?
Well, she was, and they matched her situations better. Stuff with boys, stuff with whatever, the ballet, normal everyday stuff, let's say. So here was something huge. I just, out of, it felt like almost out of nowhere, my father died. So we were all in shock, and she didn't really know him because we didn't, I only knew her from not living at my house or anything like that. She didn't know me then. So
Mhm.
she didn't know my family intimately. So she didn't have the loss of my dad. She only was supposed to be my friend as the person who lost somebody. And it was, I guess, I only could figure out that it was maybe so hard for her. And at the same time, she was wrapped up in her own life. When I read, I do have some of those letters around that time. And at that time, I told her how it felt. I said, kind of screamed and cried and said, "Where are you? I don't feel like you're here for me." And I really gave her, I confronted her.
Did she ever respond? Did she ever write you back or
Yes,
say anything?
to some degree. There was an apology in the letters when I reread them not too long ago. Yes. And I know that it was sort of the best she could do at the time for herself. She was apologizing for being so busy, busy, busy. I
Mm.
think at the time I just felt so heartbroken, obviously for the obvious reason, but also because I kind of don't live that way. No matter how, quote, busy life is, if somebody has a hardship or heartache and and I can help in some way, with my presence, my voice, whatever, I'm there. It's never too I'm never too busy for someone else.
Mm.
What else is life about? So it
Nothing.
was heartbreaking.
Mm. So, have you had any communication with her in the last number of years, or?
No. No, we really lost touch for the most part. I mean, obviously social media, but I'll tell you what, I have a relatively current situation that resembles that,
Mm-hmm.
except that there didn't appear to be any reason.
Mm.
So here I am in my 50s, and it happened again. That was when I was in my early 20s. And a person that was in my life who I felt like I was a very close friend to in her time of need, so similar. And we had a really great relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and seemingly out of nowhere, there was no more relationship.
Hmm.
So, seeing somebody weekly, texting all the time, phone calls as needed, whatever,
Trips.
trips, whatever, um, all of a sudden were gone, like literally gone.
And you,
And
you have no explanation, no information about
none.
what it could be.
So instead of me reacting the way that I reacted when I was 24, I took a different approach. And that was, if there was something that I did, obviously not intentionally, to piss someone off in such a manner that they were so angry or whatever that they couldn't talk to me, because that's all I could come up with at the time, then that is not the type of friendship that I want.
Hmm.
So for the first time ever, now this took weeks. I was like devastated for a really long
Mm-hmm.
time. Like I really felt like the rug was pulled out from under me, and I had physical problems and I had all kinds of problems. It was so shocking to my system that another person could do this to someone else when I thought things were a certain way.
Hmm.
And, you know, I'm not going to change. I know I said that already, but I thought a lot about it, and I'm still going to be there for someone. I have a lot of forgiveness and a lot of love, and I send this person all of those things energetically all the time.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I never stopped. And I started to realize that no matter what I may or may not have done, if you're not going to be willing to talk to me about it at all, ever, that's not a relationship.
No, and it makes me think of something that we were just listening to a few minutes ago, and somebody was talking about ghosting, and they said, "I'm okay if you just tell me what the problem is. Like, just tell me. Just this
Yes.
non-communication, just ghosting, is heartbreaking because you just are left
Yes.
wondering what's going on."
Yeah, the person specifically talked about rejection versus ghosting, and we can stand being rejected. So if there was a problem, if there was a gripe or whatever with somebody, I can take it. Talk to me, even
Mm.
if it doesn't get resolved. we're grown-ups, for heaven's sake. What in the world? How could this still happen? I was really, really surprised. And then the more I've been doing some research, the more I realize this is a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just our friends that, an old friend, a newer friend. This is everywhere. And then I started realizing it's in the workforce. People are just kind of using this ghosting vibe to, not. We have a really good friend that was interviewing for a job in a very well-known company that's national company in our country, and she went through the interview process, had multiple callback interviews, and loved everything about it. Thought whether or not she was going to get the job, she never in a million years could have imagined that this wonderful organization that she thought the world of would drop and ghost her.
So no communication.
None. So after like 2 interviews, 3 interviews, nothing. That's it. Nothing. No thank you. No, we found someone else. Nothing.
That's heartbreaking.
Well, yeah. Yes, it is another version of heartbreaking. But you know what she did? That was the coolest evolution to see in this person. She came to the realization very quickly that she would never want to actually work for a company that did that.
It's true.
So it was a blessing in disguise. And I've kind of took it and put it, or maybe I helped her think that, I don't know. But either way, I put it back on my story as well and thought, we don't ever know what's really going on because the person won't even let us know. So again, I have all the ideas in my head of what might have been the catalyst, but in my book, none of that was worth just stopping a friendship. So I think in a lot of ways, this type of ghosting is worse than a relationship when people are just kind of getting to know each other and then all of a sudden it's just dropped. I think that sucks. But you also get to know immediately, oh, I don't need to go beg that guy or that girl back.
Right.
Like, we're good. So it's not great, but makes a little bit of sense during that. But all these other, I'm not following why it's a form of control, right? It's manipulative, and it's kind of abusive. It's not okay. It's toxic.
It is. And it's also the opposite of brave. It really is. It's somebody who's obviously scared or frightened or just doesn't want to deal with something. And so they're just going to not communicate with you. And that's not a very good feeling to be in a relationship or a friendship with that type of person at all. So I think you're right. I think it really does tell you what all you need to know when that happens.
And then I think there's accidental ghosting that keeps happening. There's a lot. I think there's so much overload on our phones. I keep talking to people who were all like, ugh, I wish we didn't have to have our phone in our hand all the time. But what are we supposed to do when we have kids, family, whatever, or work? It feels like you're at the beck and call of that ding, those texts. And if you miss a text, if I miss a text and I don't write back, it's gone to the bottom
ether
of the phone. And I'm so sorry. Occasionally that does happen. I really try hard, but it happens to everyone. And then part of me just wishes I don't always have to respond. So there is an overstimulation. There is an overload of things that are pinging and dinging us all day. Email still, yes, voicemail and text, snaps, everything, right? Never mind our own wanting to just scroll our phone. So there's so much going on. I don't think it's always intentional. And I do think there is some room. You have to know who you're dealing with. And when that happens, I do think there is a little bit of, there's definitely some grace going on we can give to the other person.
Is that when you pick up the phone and call them, though? Is that your kind of solution to that problem if they're not texting you back?
So that is not my solution.
That's my solution.
Yes. And you're welcome to do that. And that's, of course, always possible. I would urge and encourage to give maybe a little bit of a deadline. Like if you're doing like some kind, if you need an answer, let's say, and you could say like, hey, I need to hear from you by tomorrow. I've really got to get this going. And if I don't, I'll assume you, whatever, don't want to do it. Or
That's smart. Just kind of put it back in your
yes.
in
I think we
control.
could all use a little bit of that. And I think there's also some grace to be able to nudge the person once or twice, depending on who and what it is. So I don't think you should be afraid. Instead of taking it personally, like the friends feel different. So when it is a little bit more of a work or that type of environment, I think it's safe to be able to nudge a little bit and just assume it got pushed to the bottom of the phone. Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah, yeah. And I also think showing up at people's doorstep if they don't answer you is a really good idea. Just knock on their door.
Oh my God. Do you know what I do when someone does that?
Yeah, I know what you do. You run into the bathroom and shut the door. So I think that actually leads us right back into a perfect pet peeve again that I have for you, which is this. And tell me if you recall this situation. David, I need for you to make a phone call to so-and-so. I need for you to tell them this, that, and the other thing. So I give a call to someone that you need me to talk to. And this person that I need to talk to actually has information for you, not for me. And that requires you to respond back to the person. So now I'm sitting on the phone talking to a person that you've asked me to call. And that person is now asking questions that I have to ask you, and you're responding, and I have to be the middleman for this conversation because you don't like to talk on the phone sometimes.
This is a terrible conversation.
It hits really close to home, doesn't it?
No, I just don't. I'm not going to apologize for my behavior.
Well, I think it's adorable and cute, and I'll do it for you every single time. But it's just something I had to bring up.
I've been good.
You're much better
And
now.
I tell you, hey, I made an appointment today.
Yes,
All by myself.
you do. You do, and we get balloons and celebrations.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yes. All right. Do you have any other pet peeves? Maybe not for me, but just in general.
No, I would like to talk more about you.
Oh, more pet peeves that I have.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a bunch. These
No,
are
no.
not-
What I mean is my turn.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi,
Go ahead. I'm
hi,
sorry. I thought you
hi.
had more pet peeves.
I do.
Oh, what?
Are you pretending like I don't have any
I
about
don't.
you?
I can't imagine there would be any more. You've already said all the ones.
All I said was that you text with one finger.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that I have said nothing else?
Yeah, you probably have a bunch. I already can think of 10 right now that you've told me probably in the last day.
You want to guess them?
No.
Okay. Well, this may be the number one pet peeve of all people in a room with loud chewers.
Oh my gosh, I knew you were going to say this.
David, you have like a speaker in your cheek.
I cannot help if the dynamic of my mouth makes a lot of extra noise coming out. I've
No.
tried to be very
I can
quiet.
hear you from another room.
That's because we're quiet when we're eating,
No.
so you hear it.
No. And the kids know too, 'cause everybody thinks so. So somehow you developed, I don't know that you used to have it, but you developed, maybe it's like snoring. You didn't used to snore. Oh, I bet it is. Let's look that up.
Do you think I'm trying to make extra noise? I really am not. I'm just trying to eat quietly, my meal.
I understand.
I
but
just like things that make noise, I guess. I chew
No,
things that are very loud.
No. No. I'm not talking crunching. No. Just food, just pudding. It could be anything.
Pudding,
It could just no crunch.
not cranberry sauce.
There's no, I can't. I actually think that we started watching TV at dinner so that we don't have to hear you chew.
I don't think that that's true, but I do hear you all say stuff, and I don't understand because I really am
No,
trying to be very
we
quiet.
understand you can't help it. I just don't understand when it started and why I have to listen to it.
All right, well, we're going to try to be quieter. What else? Do you have anything else? Throw another one at me.
It's called back and forth.
Oh, I have
It's
another
give
one
and
for
take.
you. I don't have any more. I've done all the other ones. I can do some for general. Do you want me to just give some general ones?
Yeah, let's do one general.
Okay. Laugh tracks. Cannot stand them. Cannot stand laugh tracks on TV shows. I will not watch a show if it has a laugh track. Cannot. I think it's the inauthenticity of what's going on. The fact that they have to add laughter to remind you that you need to laugh at this ridiculousness.
Meanwhile, nobody else even hears that.
That's right, because it's so in your head and the soundtrack of the sitcom that you don't even hear it anymore. But I hear it every single time. And you know what I do when the kids are watching a sitcom with it? I start laughing as loud as as a laugh track while we're watching the show, and they know how ridiculous it is because they get to hear me laugh uncontrollably at nothing. Okay, I want to hear you give me one now.
Okay, this is a little silly one, and then we probably don't need to keep doing this all day.
I think people are really enjoying it. I could hear the laughter through the phone.
The laugh track.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't understand how certain words are mispronounced, such as crayon and crown.
Crayon and crown.
No, people say crown for crayon.
They do?
Really?
I've never heard that.
Yeah. And like ol for oil.
Oh.
Ol.
Maybe that's just a southern thing.
It's definitely a southern thing. But, and it's fine, but I don't like crayon has a lot of other letters in it.
I know they're just kind of lazy and skipping all the
No,
letters.
no. It's just the way their like mouth says it, and but you could really not know what someone's talking about for like 10 minutes when they say that, because you're like,
what
crown?
did you say?
A crown of what?
Pass me the crown.
Yeah, no, actually, but then also those are just like pronunciations. But I know we have a little pet peeve together. I think
What?
of several words that are just like misused, even though they're so often misused. I think they're becoming part of the dictionary, such as irregardless.
Irregardless. Oh my gosh. I love irregardless. When people say that, I'm like, it's like, it is becoming, I think, more normalized, but it still hurts my ears when I hear it.
You know what hurts my ears? Height.
Height.
No, it's accidentally used so much, and I love
Height.
I understand how, because width, right?
Width and
Depth, height.
Right. They're all the same.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, height. That's funny.
Anyway.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got another one, and then
Another
we can
one.
be done.
What?
Another funny one. You ever talk to someone and they're telling you a story, and they stop and they start laughing uncontrollably
Before they tell you.
before they tell you the story, so that you're like, "Is it really that funny?" And then they finally tell you the story, and you're like, "That did not deserve that kind of laughter."
Well, yes, that does happen.
Right?
There's a way, like sometimes stand-up comedians do that a little bit, and it's just for a second, and everyone starts kind of smiling because they're getting ready.
Right.
But yeah,
But I'm talking about like a conversation with a friend, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I got to tell you this thing," and you're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope that's not how they laughed, but yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
I got you.
You got it. Okay.
So listen, back to ghosting.
Yes.
We're not going to go back to it, but I just wanted to say I think that this is happening widespread, and I think that there are ways to navigate it a little bit, but otherwise it really is hurtful, and we're with you, and we welcome your comments and stories about it. And maybe we'll do a follow-up episode on it, because it's kind of a big deal, and I'm hearing about it across the board with the young adults and teenagers, as well as obviously all of us older adults.
Yes. Tell us your stories of ghosting. And also, if you have some pet peeves, I love pet peeves. So let's hear some pet peeves as well.
I like to say button pushers.
Okay. Button pushers.
Yeah.
That's great.
So email chimingin911@gmail.com. And we always tell you to follow and give us those stars, please, and all that good stuff. We really are appreciative. And I don't know how else to say it, but thank you.
Thank you.